Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well today. Thank you for watching this episode. Today we're going to be making something that I've personally never had before. We're making udon, but we're not making just any udon, we're making the udon from the popular anime TV show Demon Slayer. I've personally gotten to really like this show. It's not the first anime that I've watched, but it's probably like the second or third. I'll watch Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, and Hunter. Those are probably my three main ones. But I really like this TV show, and I saw it in the show while I was watching it, and I was like, I've got to make it. So today we're going to be cooking udon. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into this video. So the first thing we need to do in order to make our udon, we need to chop 2 packs of mushrooms. Preferably here you would want to use dried shiitake mushrooms or satake, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Now we're going to be chopping up our green onion. I'm just cutting the flimsy ends off, and then I'm going to be cutting the greener side into really thin rings, then pat those dry with a paper towel in order to keep them nice and crisp. Now I'm going to be chopping off the ends of our green onion. This is optional, but you can cut a few of these little slivers off and then add them into your broth mixture for a little extra flavor. Now we're going to be adding in 6 cups of water, our mushrooms, and the ends of our green onion into a large pot, and you just want to bring this up to a simmer. So add in your mushrooms, those bits of green onion if you decide to add them. And now we're going to be adding in our nori. If you can find these little squares here, I would add 6 to 8 squares. If not, if all you can find is the big sheets, just add in 1 or 1.5 sheets. Cover this and bring it up to a simmer, not a boil. As you can see, this is what it should look like when it starts to simmer. Kill the heat. Next we're going to be pulling out our nori. Peep that watch face, by the way, Demon Slayer. So take out your nori that you have here so we can add in our fish flakes next. Now we're going to be adding in 3 cups of bonito or fish flakes. Give that a good pat to get all of them in there. Now we're going to cover that and let it steep for 3 minutes. After that's steeped, we're going to be draining this into a pitcher or some container with a fine mesh sieve and a coffee filter. After that, optionally chop up some mushrooms for your toppings for this bowl of udon. I'm cutting mine really thinly here. Then I'm adding a little bit of my broth to these mushrooms so they'll soak it up and get nice and tender. So just let those steep and you can set those off to the side while you prepare the rest of your stuff. Next we're going to be adding in some soy sauce to taste into the bottom of your serving bowls. So I would start with a little because you can always go and add more in. I know about how salty I like my food, so I'm adding that in. And if you have miso, add that. But if you don't, you can add a splash of white vinegar or rice vinegar. And you can also add in a teaspoon of sugar with that. That's what I'm doing here in order to substitute for miso. Next, whisk that around really good until the sugar is completely dissolved. Now you're going to boil your udon noodles. As the package says, mine said 8 minutes on a rolling boil. Now we're going to be chopping some of our toasted nori strips in order to have more topping for our udon, as you can see here. This is what your setup should look like after you have everything ready to go. Now we're going to be sticking our udon noodles into our miso and soy sauce mixture. Get as much or as little as you like, just leave room for some toppings to go on the top. Don't forget to add in some of that delicious broth that you just made. I would say 1 to 2 ladlefuls, as you can see here, pouring that over the top. That's going to have a lot of flavor. I'm going with 1.5 or 2 here. Next, we're going to be adding our fried egg. So I forgot to mention this earlier, but you're going to fry an egg for as low as you possibly can. So you want this to be as least cooked as possible. Then we're going to be topping this udon with our thinly sliced mushrooms that have been soaking up that broth and gotten nice and tender. Then add a generous amount of your green onions around the edge. As you can see here, I like a lot of green onions because they're nice and spicy. Then we're going to be adding our toasted nori strips to the other side. Now let us appreciate our creation. Alright guys, thank you for watching this episode. If you liked it, leave a like down below, and don't forget to comment something that you want me to cook in the near future. Like I always say, I plan on posting here twice a week, so you can always count on that. And I'll see you guys next time. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it.